Francis West is CEO of Security Everywhere, a company which helps SMEs to secure their money, data and reputation with managed security services. Francis is a trusted cybersecurity expert who serves on several security panels, including for the Home Office. In this Spotlight interview, Francis joined ThisWeekinFM to talk about specific cybersecurity threats facing FM businesses, difficulties around protecting smart buildings, and his top security tips. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your career story so far.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Francis West. I run two companies. One is West Tech Solutions, which is an IT support company. And the other one we started about 4 years ago is called Security Everywhere, that specializes in providing the best security money can buy that's used by Barclays, NASDAQ, Netflix, to small businesses. Because we feel, why should they not be protected by the same level of security solutions as the big boys? So for my sins also, I serve on, when I last counted, 7 security panels, including the Home Office. I work with multiple cyber resilience centers, Eastern Forward Forum. Also sits on the main security panel with the Worshipful Company of Information Technologists. So also work with a number of cyber police units around the country. We even get young offenders to come into our office and we rehabilitate them, which is great fun. So yeah, we eat, sleep and breathe cybersecurity, but the final thing I'll say is that we made it our mission about 4 years ago to educate and protect at least 1 million people from hackers and scammers by 2023. We surpassed that last October. So our new mission is to educate and protect at least 1 million businesses from hackers and scammers by 2026. So thank you for having me.
Cybersecurity often comes under the remit of the IT team. Why might this be inadequate?
You know, it's sad that we even have to discuss this question but it's the reality. I always say to people, where in the word IT support does it say cybersecurity specialist? It doesn't, does it? So every time we get a new client who's just suffered a major ransom attack or even a hack or scam, they go, I thought my IT company had it covered. And my response is always, why do you want to blame the electrician when the roof starts leaking? Most IT companies out there, and they're brilliant at what they do. They're brilliant at doing the day-to-day stuff. But if you don't specialize in providing high-level cybersecurity solutions and support, and have a security operations center behind you, how could you even know what to recommend? So when I set up my security panels, people say, what's the biggest risk today to any small business? I say it's either the internal IT department or the external IT company. No, it's not their fault. It's just they're not trained to deliver that service. So my recommendation is please separate those two functions in any business, whether you're a one-man band, 50, 100 or 500 or 1,000 people in your business. Please separate the function.
What specific cybersecurity threats should facilities management businesses be aware of?
I think FM companies, their biggest risk is the amount of data that they hold. They have property information, they've got employee information, they've got contract information sitting in their systems. And the problem that I'm seeing in the industry is that most of these systems, you only need 2 pieces of information to log on: the username and the password. Now here's the problem. I'll send you one email, you'll click on one link, and now I've just installed what we call a keylogger on your PC or Mac. So the next time when you log on to your FM system, I've now captured the login details, which means in my own time, I can now go and look at all your information, scrape all your information, start going after all your clients and all your customers potentially without your knowledge. So my advice here is that please, anybody that use any facility management system, please go back to the provider and ask them to turn on multi-factor or 2-factor authentication. Why? Because you've got a 30-second window to type a code in. So you've got your username, your password, and your code, and that way you're going to stop hackers getting into your data, because data now is worth more than gold.
It has been suggested that cybersecurity training will suffer due to the current economic uncertainty. Do you agree that this is likely, and what might the consequences be?
Okay, so I've got a complete different view on this. A lot of people, and again, I was only at a session this morning where, you know, a very large company, very great company, saying to everybody in the audit, you need to train your staff, you need to train your staff. And my logic is as follows. Okay, yes, you should train your staff, but how about we rather prevent the problem from getting into the inbox in the first place? The only reason why we have to train people is because the systems that we're using are not good enough. Make sense? So if we take the logic of a house, so you allow somebody to get into the house, you're going to train them to spot somebody that's dodgy, and then when they're sitting in your house with a hand grenade, then you go, no, this is not a good idea. Listen, my training it says you should leave now. Really? So my whole model on this is rather prevent. I think it's criminal that business owners allow staff with training to decide whether this email with this link sitting in the inbox right now is a criminal attack on the business or not. Look what happened just the other day with the post office. Was it this year or last year? You know, one single click took out so many of their different offices. One click. That email should have never hit the inbox. And no training can stop stupidity. One of my favorite sayings is there's no patch for stupidity. If somebody still, after all the training, decides to go onto a website, put in their username and password, no amount of training is going to stop that.
What are the main cybersecurity threats around smart buildings?
Smart buildings, this is a fun topic, okay? If you look at, let me rewind a bit. So, every day, all of us pick up a device that's connected to the internet. You must have heard the term IoT, Internet of Things. Now, even if you look at a normal house now, you know, you've got Alexis, you've got the Ring doorbell, you've got CCTV, you've got I don't know how many computers, you've got how many phones sitting in a house. Now, if we bring that back to smart office in London, now this is where the scary bit comes in. A lot of these companies, when they set up these smart devices, door entry systems, they do not set them up securely. So they'll set them up with admin password or admin and no password sometimes. And we do a lot of audits where we do interrogations to find that the default username and passwords would never change. Now, there is a website called showdown.io, SHOADAN.io, and this is a public website that scans the planet every day for these unsecure devices, including industrial control systems, you know, smart devices, CCTV, PlayStations, and list the username, password, and the IP addresses for free on this website. So, if you do not want your systems to be hacked, make 110 million% sure that whoever does your installation has multiple layers of security to prevent people from getting into them in the first place.
What's one cybersecurity tip you'd like to give to our readers today?
So a lot of people in facility management, I'm sure, are using WhatsApp to exchange information, whether it's photos, whether it's a little video about a site or a property that they need to repair. What do you think will happen if I can get into your WhatsApp account? And if I tell you, probably out of every 100 people I check, I would say maybe 2 or 3 of them have turned what we call two-factor authentication on their WhatsApp account. And the way you do this, you go into settings, you go into account, you go into two-step verification, and you do the little slider, and then it will pop up asking you for a 6-digit code. Once you put that 6-digit code in, I can no longer take over your WhatsApp account. I can no longer look at all the videos and all the things that you've ever said. And it's such a simple thing to do. But please, do not only do this in your business, please tell this to your daughter, your brother, your sister, your mother, your uncle, your auntie, because the more people we can share this little tip with, the more people will not suffer attacks because their WhatsApp account was never secured in the first place.